Jaime back from Inky and Scrappy with our Let's Start Stamping series. I decided I was going to do something a little different today. So I am going to do a clear card base and we're going to emboss it. I have a couple of examples at the end that I'll show you that I've done to kind of prep for this one. I know I prepped. It doesn't happen very often. Hold your breath. No. Ultimately, I wanted to make sure it was going to work before I brought it to camera. So, I use the acetate sheets in the overhead. They're great for overhead projection from High Gloss. I will link them down below. I've linked them before. They're just a little bit thicker, so a thicker acetate is going to work well for this. Keep in mind if it's too thick, you're having a hard time folding it. So don't feel you have to go overly thick with it. So to start with, we're going to actually score our acetate. So I'm going to bring in my trusty scoreboard here. And of course I've cut this one already in half. So it is that 5.5 inches by 8.5, and then we're going to score it at 4.25. And I'm going to press really hard with my bone folder here, or the little score. I guess this one is more of a scoring tool. And so I'm going to dig that one in. I'm going to go a couple of times just to make sure that score is really nice and deep in there. I know you might not be able to see this one, so how smart is this one to do on camera? Well, we'll see. Let me put this one to the side. So ultimately, we're going to come in here, and maybe I'll try to hold it this way so you can see it a little bit better. I guess I could also do like an outside border on it so you could kind of see it. But I'm going to line it up actually on the sides that isn't folded at first, and then I'm going to push it down into the middle. It should line up with my score line there, which is going to make it easier to fold, but I want to make sure that I'm kind of lined up at the corners because acetate does not fold the easiest. Now for this one I am going to bring in my bone folder. I do want to reinforce this one a lot. It's not gonna, I should say it's not gonna probably lay flat ultimately, but it should lay fairly flat. So you can see, you know, it closes okay. It kind of pops open like a normal card does. So when it's laying down, it's actually laying pretty flat. So we have that going for us. Now for this one, we're going to use an embossing folder. You can use a regular embossing folder. You can use a 3D embossing folder. I will show you the example of the 3D one later. I will say that the larger the embossing folder, like if it's over an A2 size, might be better for this one, just because it's going to fit into our, it's going to do the whole front and not leave any of it out. I'm going to try to line it up so at least this side on this one, like the edge, is embossed. The inside towards the fold isn't going to be as embossed. So just like that on this one. I've also done it with the top fold, and that works well this way. I have older ones that are close to my heart ones. Let's see if I can find the one that I used earlier. So the close to my heart ones are probably closer to a 5x7 one. Which would work great for that one coming in from the side. It'll work, but the close to my heart ones had cutouts on top, and so you can sneak it through the top. Maybe. I had to wiggle it a little bit. So it should be about a 4.25 inch opening on the top on this one, but you can sneak through your front panel that way, and then it'll just fold over the top and kind of sneak in that way. So if you have a 5x7, I have done it with some of my older ones to actually cut a slit in the top of them. Doesn't work the greatest like this one because it's so, I can do a partial on this one. I don't think I got this one all the way, but you can kind of cut a hole in there if you're trying to get that sort of impression. So just food for thought, the bigger you know, if you can find some of the close to my heart bigger ones, they kind of have that and they work better for this technique. The 3D folders work well. Keep in mind you're probably going to want a side fold as opposed to the top fold, unless your 3D folder can also be like inverted, right? So this one isn't going to work because the coffee cups would be upside down. So just kind of keep that in mind. This one would work fine for that one to go this way because it's just going to end up being the upside down version of swirls. So not a big deal on that one. Let's see here. I think we're good. So to make our sandwich for this one. So this is the Cuttlebug or Provocraft. I think Darcy still makes some thinner ones like this. So if it was a 3D folder, we would just need this and a die cut plate like this, and we would sandwich it. Because it's the thinner version of a embossing folder, we're gonna need one of those. Where's the other one? I might dirty cut one. So we're gonna need the base plate. So your base plate also has, this one is just the base plate. It's not a magnetic one. You can't do it on your magnetic mat, I don't believe. But this one, you're just gonna go with your base, your A plate, I do believe it's called, the cutting plate, and then the other cutting plate. So we're not using that B plate that goes on top of this one. And then we're going to run this through the die cut machine. I run it through at least twice on this, sometimes 3 times, just to make sure that it gets a really deep impression into that acetate. One would probably be okay, but I like to double and triple check it. The other thing is, if you're running an embossing plate through, if it's small enough, put it at an angle so it hits a curve or a corner and not the full front force of it. It's just easier on your die cut machine. It'll save the gears a little bit. So I will be right back. I'm going to run this through. So I've run it through. I did 3 times this time. It's going to give you a lot deeper, better impression than once or twice through is going to give you. So I don't know if you can, how well you can see it, but you can see there's pattern on there. There we go. So you can kind of see it. It's definitely got some weight to it. Now keep in mind this is acetate, so things to color acetate with. I did do some, I'll bring this one in. So this is that 3D folder. I did do some Simon Hurley lunar paste on the, I think it's lunar paste, yes, the lunar paste on this one. It went okay. I brought in some distress paint, which is black soot, which is supposed to be, once it's dry, it's supposed to be permanent. How permanent? Well, I mean, it doesn't come off now, but I also haven't gotten it wet, so it's working still. So keep that in mind. It's just kind of added, I wanted to add a little bit of color to this one, kind of give the teeth a little bit more impression. I only ran this one through once or twice, I think, and I would definitely do it 3 times next time, just to make sure that I'm getting all of that 3D impression in there that I really, really want and love. And so just keep that in mind. Keep in mind it's all the way see-through, so whatever you have underneath your top layer is also going to show through. So keeping that in mind, this one works really well for die cut images. It will work for the other one, and I'll show you what I did for a colored image, but I would say definitely have a die available, or if you're using your Brother Scan and Cut, make sure to scan, cut, remove the top piece, put a coordinating cardstock down, and then cut it again so you can mirror this image onto the back part. This one I wasn't worried about because of the color. I did play a little bit and put this on the back side, so if you can see it, you know, if somebody's looking really hard, they'll be able to see that it does have the little mug line, but you're still going to see the tape on the back side on this one, so keep that in mind. Alrighty. The other thing with this one, if you are going to be die cutting, I would suggest doing score style tape possibly on the back of those pieces, so it's going to be a whole stick. Oh look, I'm at the end of my rope. I mean tape. Rope, tape, it's all the same. This is just going to help adhere it to that card front without using glue, because glue's, I mean, it's going to work okay, but it's not going to stick greatly. That's sad. I've had that rule forever. I mean, not really, but I mean, not really sad, but sad that it's empty. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to come in and do, I want those 2 cherries, and I just need one of those, I think. But I want to try to, I need to get this one on to this one because it's going to sit on my base piece. So I'm more worried about that one hitting the line there, hitting the adhesive, than I am about the other 2. Depending upon if I use one or both. I haven't decided yet. I thought I had another piece. So I'm going to come in with those. We'll run those through the die cut machine. Give me a second here. I'll line these ones up. So this one has the one leaf and the leaf and the twigs. I don't know if it matters which one I do. One would think one of these will fit. Will both of them fit? One goes one way, one goes the other way. So they both should fit onto my dies. Which way do I want my leaf? I want my leaf this way. So I'm going to cut this one out. Do I want dark green or light green? Let's do some light green. So I'm going to cut this one out twice. Once from the green and once from the brown because I want to make my leaf green and my stems kind of twiggy brown. So I will cut that one out twice. Oops. And then let's grab a little scout for this one. So I'm going to grab those. And I do want to do some score style tape on here yet. So this is usually what I use for die cutting with. It's Couture Creations. It's kind of a full back adhesive. I don't need the whole things covered, so I'm just going to kind of go like this. Whoops. Let's make my life easier and do at least the, so I can cut a straight line here. Possibly. I'll save that piece for later. Actually, I'll just stick it on here. And can I fit these on here? Yeah. So I'm just gonna cut those off as well. Then we can line this one up. Oh, I guess I'm doing one of these at a time anyways. Doesn't really matter. So we'll go here, run this one through, just me causing trouble again. Okay, pop this one out. I'm gonna die cut it from this side. I'm gonna save myself some time here. Okay. Alrighty. So I have my stems cut, my cherries cut. Do I want, I was trying to decide if I wanted a second cherry stem for on the inside. I don't think so. I think we'll be good with this. The other thing for this one, because you can't really stamp on it once it's already embossed, right? On the inside, you can definitely stamp on it with some StazOn ink. Keep in mind, StazOn is a solvent ink. I don't use it a whole lot for this one. I don't think I'm going to stamp on the inside. I'll probably just put a little flag on the inside that matches my sentiment part on the front side, or you could do some cherries on the inside, because remember, whatever's on the inside is going to show through your front side here, so keep that in mind. I also want to do kind of like a base for this to stay on top of my card base. So keep in mind, I probably could have used a longer piece and done one cut. This is the Slimline Victorian Layers die set, which is currently on sale at Whimsy Stamps, or it was currently on sale at Whimsy Stamps. Hence why it's now in my collection. Shh, nobody needs to know that. My husband does not need to know that. Okay, for this one, I'm just going to, I could cut both of them at the same time, I suppose. Sure, why not? Okay, so I really just need it to be like this part because I kind of want it to hang off the edge. But I'll do the longer one, and then if life happens, oh, I should probably put some adhesive on these ones. Okay, I'm just gonna find the longer, well, I don't know if the longer sheet's gonna work. Okay. This one. And then I need this one. So I'll cut this one first. This one back in, run this through. And this one should give me the mirror image. I'm not too worried about it lining up on the inside for this one. Also, running this through is going to press that into your adhesive is going to press into your paper really well. I was going to say, I just set my plate somewhere. Don't ask. I just had the thing. Half the time that Jaime crafts. I just had the thing that I needed. Okay. Now I should be good to roll. Alrighty. So I want to stamp my sentiment first, and then we'll do the build, and then we'll just add it all to the card base. It shouldn't take a whole lot of time here. I like the I hope today brings a sweet surprise, or you're the cherry on top. I thought about doing a cupcake for this one. I thought that would be fun. Lots of options. I like the bigger sentiment for this one because even just adding a huge sentiment on there and that being it, not adding anything else. I like the die cuts. I also like doing the other stuff, but kind of. I also thought about die cutting cupcake pieces out. Just sounded like a lot of work today. Now I have to think about which side is this one coming in from. Is it going to come from this side or is it going to come from that side? I think I want it to come in from the folded side. So I'm going to kind of, this is going to be my cut line, I'm guessing. So I'm going to kind of try to center that there. I'm not worried about covering up that top part. I don't want it centered. I want it towards the bottom. And here's hoping I have it semi lined up. I'm going to pick that up and then come in with the VersaFine Onyx Black. You could definitely do some clear embossing over the top of this one if you want to add a little bit of, you know, extra to it. Go for it. I have been over stamping, like ink pad wise, lately. Good Lord. Okay, we will bring that one in. Now there's, let's see, what can we do for the inside one? I can do the happy birthday, sweet friend. Or sweet birthday wishes would work as well. Maybe we'll do the sweet birthday wishes. Or I hope today brings a sweet surprise is probably okay. We'll do this one. It'll give me a little bit of room to write on this one, and that way you can't see anything. One more actually, whoops, everything just fell down. Go figure. One more actually, like, ready to send this one. figuring here's my cut line. I'm going to go about there with it. Pick that one up. Come in with that Onyx black again. Stamp it. Clean it. See, I told you, my like over inking is on point today. Okay, we'll set that, deal with it later. Okay. So I have my front, my inside, my card front here. Okay, and my cherries. So I'm gonna pop these ones out, pop these ones out, pop this one out, maybe. Oh, we're gonna be difficult. Okay, I just need to snip. Snips, snails, and puppy dog tails. Okay, I just need the leaf on the green one. Maybe. Of course, it gave me the other one too. And then I need the actual stem for this one, so I want the whole thing on this one. Come on. Do it. Alright. So for this one, I'm going to add a little bit of blending ink here. I'm just going to come in with some Distress Archival Vintage Photo to add a little bit of color to this one. I think I haven't been impressed with these inks since I got them. I think they're dry, which is, they've been this since I got them. I'm just going to add a little bit there. I'm going to take the brown and add just a little bit of shading to my leaf as well. And my cherry on top and my cherry underneath. I'm going to go around this one a little bit, kind of hitting a little bit harder over here just because I know that it's going to have that shadow effect there. And then I'm just going to hit the outside of this one just a teeny tiny little bit. Okay. Alright. So for this one, there's little like divots in here that you can get. I'm going to remove my backing on this one first, and then this one already has that backing off, so I'm going to kind of tuck my stem into the cherry on this one, and then I'm going to layer this one on top here, and then tuck, maybe kind of wiggle it a little bit and tuck this one in. Remove my paper and then tuck that one in over here as well. Come on, you can do it. Then we're going to tuck that cherry in on the back side here, and then before we get too far, we're going to add this layer on top. Trying to line up the leaf here. And so there we have our little cherry is ready to roll. Now, for this one, I am going to cut here. So let me grab my paper cutter. Wrong piece. So for this one, I'm going to come in here and just kind of line up. I'm lining it up on the blade, not really using the guides at all. I'm just kind of using, I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but I'm using, kind of lining the point up and the point up with my blade. I'm going to go just a little bit inside that one because I can always cut off more, but I can bring it back. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Kind of the tips of my point and the tips of my point. And this one I'm going to actually cut a little bit inside that point, just because it's going to be on the inside of the card, and so I figure ultimately it's going to, that fold is going to hinder it from being tucked all the way in there. So that's kind of how I'm doing that one. You can play that one by ear if you want. So for this one I'm going to, and you could definitely cut this down so it's a little bit smaller than an A2. Should we do that? Let's do that. I want the whole front there to be, to kind of have that impression on it. So I'm just going to line this up in my die cut machine and cut, or die cut machine, in my trimmer here. And I like to use this one because it has the front piece here that it's going to push it towards it, so it's not going to be uneven. And so this way I get that pattern of impression all the way on my card front. Okay, so we're going to go with this one. And you can watch me struggle getting the paper off. So I'm going to go here with this one, lining that up on the fold line here. The cherry on top. And then for my inside piece, I'm actually going to flip this over, peel off my inside piece here, tucking it in with the adhesive side up. I can line it up onto that piece that's already adhered onto the front of my card, and once I'm happy with the placement there, I can fold my card front back down and then just press it in. And just so it gets a good adhesion, I'm just going over it. Camera died. Okay, so I squished that one in. I'm going to pull this up and kind of do the same thing on the inside. Oh, I like that almost better. Anyways, so I have that one sitting on top there. Now it's just a matter of adding those cherries onto the top. So I'm going to carefully peel off my double-sided adhesive here. Okay. And you can add a little bit of glue onto the bottom. That's going to actually touch the paper if you want. You don't have to, but this will give me 5 seconds maybe. Oh, probably less than that, to make sure that I line it up where I want it. So I'm going to line that up over, kind of center on top of the cherry on top. In for a penny, in for a pound. Here we go. Okay. Stuff is sticky. Okay, then we will add that on there, squish that in, and ultimately, so there's our card. You could add, again, you could definitely go in there with some of your StazOn ink and kind of highlight some of that. I love the simplicity of it, and I love the fact that it's kind of a surprise. You don't expect to get a clear card, right? And you can definitely just add in your sentiment. You could add in a sticky note. You could add something in the background that you can write on, which is totally fine. You could definitely add another cherry into the background here. You know, if you want to do another one kind of hanging out underneath, that would kind of be fun. But super, super fun to kind of do something different. I've been getting bored lately, so I had to like find some different things to try again. I love this look. Keep in mind, alcohol markers will color on this, so you could definitely hit those with some alcohol markers and get them to kind of go in this, you know, swirly pattern. So when I first saw this swirl, I thought it would be really fun to do the Jesus die cut from Erin Lee Creatives and make, even if I made this blue, right? Like if I came in and took some, and I'll do it and then I'm going to erase it because it's alcohol ink, but oh booger. So you can just kind of like hit them with that blue and just kind of be, you know, careful about coloring it, and you'll hit it over the top and you'll get that blue hint in there. But you can do alcohol inks on the whole thing. I said I would erase it, so ultimately a little bit of hand sanitizer on here will wipe off the alcohol ink, and I don't have to, you know, I didn't ruin anything. It's all good. So if it doesn't turn out for you, so you can undo it on there. So ultimately, see, no more blue left. But it's kind of just a fun, quick thing, especially if you have a lot of transparency sheets. You know, so this was the other one that I did, definitely adding in some other mixed medium to it. Keep in mind it is still plastic. I did do the glitter art glue for this one, getting the bats on there, getting the little swirl of steam on there. I did with the glue. I did do double-sided tape for some of that, and then added some glue. You can tell here the glue is still not dry. I did add the full sheet thingy in the background, and you can see it through, but I felt like the skulls with all of the color on them, it was okay. It wasn't a big deal. Just make sure it's dry, because you will get it all over you. But does this coffee make me look alive? And then of course, you know, the little things. They're on here pretty tight. I'm trying to peel them off a little bit, and they're not popping. That's what's something I was afraid of, is them not sticking. But once the glue actually dried, it's adhering very well. So the cup here is from Tim Holtz Sizzix, Colorize, the coffee cup set. The bats are from Miss Amy File. Thank you, Amy. They're big. I wanted big ones. I have some littler ones. And then the Does This Coffee Make Me Look Alive came from Erin Lee Creative. That's no longer in. This, I think, is a whimsy, like, blobs die set. I thought about going fancy, but I felt the, you know, the non-fancy was way more fun. And then for my last one here is A Day Without a Friend, is like a pot without a single drop of honey inside of it. Winnie the Pooh. This is done with the Tailored Expressions Sugar Cube ink pad, and then I embossed in clear embossing ink over the top, so it's not as bright as a white embossing powder would be. And then of course I couldn't glue that down because it was like hanging over my sentiment, and I didn't want that. But this is done in a vellum overlay, which is kind of fun. You can kind of still see the color underneath of that. And then this was just colored with alcohol markers, as was the vellum overlay. It did not dry well ink-wise, so maybe heat setting it. I just dealt with it. I got black ink everywhere. I don't think you're going to see it a whole lot. The thing with this one was I cut it out and my die shifted, and so I ended up cutting it on the line and cutting a white piece underneath it, so it would have that continuous white border on it. Extra step I probably wouldn't have had to do. The bee on this one is actually on the inside of the card, so you can see the bee is there. I also mirror colored it just by looking at the stamp and just coloring it and adding some black lines. Nothing fantastic. You can see here that I do have the little lines on here from my double-sided score tape. I will probably cut out another circle to cover that and put my insignia on the back, because I always put made by on the back of my cards. So that's one thing to do. You could definitely do just a sticky on the, like a sticky piece of paper on the back to add your insignia if that's what you do. I also, because this piece was colored before I put the white piece on, I'd already cut out a matching red color to cover up my image backside, because I knew it wasn't going to look pretty. So just making sure that you do that double cut if you're using your Brother Scan and Cut before you erase image, because it'll give you the exact image that you need for the backside to kind of cover it up. And picking a coordinating cardstock, it could be white. I went with red because that's the color I went for my honey pot. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. This one is with the close to my heart honeycomb die. So all of these were kind of fun. I won't say they were extremely as quick as the one that I did, because I was still trying to, you know, muster out all of the little kinks. And of course, I had issues. It's how it works always. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you want to comment below with some ideas for future cards, I'd be more than happy to hear them. Other than that, I will be back hopefully next week with another card for you. Probably not a clear one. So, hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Bye!